What's up? Big Herc 916, positivity, motivation, never settle for average. You know, we do it over here. Somebody had hit me up and had asked me like, Big Herc, what did you spend your time in prison doing? You know, did you learn how to draw in prison? You know, what'd you do with your free time? And I've talked about it before. You know, my free time in prison was spent trying to get out of prison. I did a lot of studying, helped other inmates with their habeas corpuses or 2255s, 2241s, trying to get, post sentence, judgments off, like priors and stuff like that. I would help guys. And I wrote a few books while I was in there. Wrote Bedroom Gangster. But I did some legal books too. And I've talked about it before, the Tim Patrick series that I wrote. And it's just stuff that I researched. I had a lot of legal material that I researched over the almost 9 years that I was in prison. And I had a bunch of notes, and I just thought one day, I'm like, man, what if I could put these notes into some study guides so that it would be easier for people to kind of find certain things. You know, I couldn't put all the information, but things I thought were pertinent, I could put into these like notebooks and share them. And I used to always share information anyways. You know, when I'm helping people, I would give them certain things to go read. And, you know, I had a bunch of reading material. A lot of it I gave away and some of it got lost, but I tried to keep a lot of the main stuff. But I took some of the more informative things that I learned and I put it into these books. But I knew that a lot of people, because of my character and what I look like, they wouldn't take the information serious. Even, you know, because I used to show people stuff and explain things to them. And, you know, even the brothers, they would go ask me stuff, and then they go ask the white guy the same stuff. And the white guy would repeat the same thing that I had just told them because he was getting some of his game from me. I was very knowledgeable, and I studied like the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, congressional acts, Admiralty Maritime Law. I studied basically, you know, de facto government, de jure government, equity. I studied just a lot of legal stuff, things on jurisdiction, things on just UCC. I studied just a lot of commercial law, criminal law. I studied a lot of stuff, man. And I would, you know, tell people stuff, and they're like, well, if you know so much, why are you still in here? I said, well, I'm working on getting out. What are you doing? You know, these dudes would be watching TV, you know, cheering over the sports games, fighting over the TV, busting spreads. You know, they would be entertained and working in the factory, but they'd be talking about, oh, why you still here? Did you get out yet? And they'd be cracking jokes, like making fun of the fact that I'm still in there with them. But at least I'm gaining knowledge. You know, I'm learning stuff. So some of this stuff I could use in the future or help other people that get caught up that could maybe use some of this information to become knowledgeable. Because, you know, you go to jail, you get locked up, and you start depending on these attorneys to tell you everything. And it's information. What's the difference between an attorney and you? You have the ability to read. If you can read, you have the ability to research information, to look up laws, to look up, you know, different cases. And it's a game changer. And I know because when I was about to get sentenced, I started, you know, before I got sentenced, I started researching, and I knocked a couple years off my case through studying. And I seen the power of knowing about the law firsthand, and I've seen guys, you know, knock time off. I've seen guys get out, you know, by studying certain things. So I just did a lot of studying, man. And I don't have the books on my website, but if you want to, you know, hit me up to get any of this game. One of the books I wrote is called Basic Training for Quiet War, State and Federal Courts Exposed. Tim Patrick. This is the first book I wrote, and it has just general information, man, stuff about the District of Columbia, War Powers Act, things about like, let me see, the money game. And I'm not just make a disclaimer. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not practicing law. I'm not trying to give you legal advice. None of that. You got to do all that research yourself. If you need legal help, go get you an attorney, a lawyer, whatever you need to do. I'm not trying to give you any of that advice, but I'm just sharing with you. And this is the stuff I just basically researched to kind of get the game. But it breaks down a lot of stuff. Some of the stuff I pulled out of different resources, and just kind of like things that jumped out at me I thought would be cool, because this, to find all these different things on the street, man, it's a lot of, you have no drive. People on the street, they're living their life, they're caught up in family and work, and they don't even think about like trying to research this. There's no need. You might hear about something on TikTok or Instagram or something, or YouTube, but like I have something here. Are you a 14th Amendment citizen? And I have a table of contents. It's got a bunch of different stuff in here. Ecclesiastic nature of our courts, the bar, the Libra Code, just all these different things. But this is one of the books that I wrote. And then I also wrote Introduction to the Truth, a must-have guide for anyone living in America, Tim Kilpatrick. And I came up with Tim Kilpatrick because it sounded like a white guy. And when I actually printed this book out initially and put a cover like this on it, I had a friend of mine, I typed up all this stuff on an old school typewriter. You see, this is all old school typewriter. I sent it out, had them bind it, send it back to me. And I was sharing these with guys in prison, and they were buying these. And they're like, man, this guy has a game. Big Herc, he has a game. Tim Kilpatrick. I was cracking up, man. Tim Kilpatrick was me. It was me on the unders. But yeah, man, I was putting this information together, and I loved helping people, man. I love giving them real game. And like I said, I wasn't a lawyer. All the stuff you need to look up yourself, but it has, cases and stuff in here. It talks about, jurisdiction, a bunch of different stuff. Most people don't even know what jurisdiction is. They don't know what the private and public side of courts is. But, both of these books, if you're interested, $50 each. It's a decade of prison time. 8 years, 8 months of this information. $50 each. I'll print you out a copy. Shoot me a message on info.bigherc916@gmail.com if you're interested, and I'll print you a copy. People might be like, $50, man, dude, I did a lot of time for these, did a lot of research, and, I would love to share them with you, but, yeah, I'm not advertising them on my website, nothing like that, but just game about the court system, you guys who are in the streets, dealing with the police, before you sign your name, the way you address yourself, what's going on. You've seen all these shows, Law and Order and this and that, you think that's not really what's going on in court. There's a lot of other things happening, but like I said, you got to do your own research. I'm not giving you legal advice, but if you want some game, this is game, bro. This is game. This is something that'll wake you up, stimulate your mind, elevate you a little bit, just it's stuff in here that I would have never researched had I not been locked up, because you don't have a need to. You don't think about it. You're just okay. You get caught up, you get a traffic ticket or a DUI, or I don't know, you get caught stealing, and you go to court. You just go and you like everybody else. You sit there, watch TV, you wait for your court date, you play dominoes, you play cards, you do whatever you do. You're not thinking, man. You're not trying to educate yourself, because you got a public defender who's gonna do it for you. You're so stupid. You give all your life into the hands of these people to try to help you, save you, and you're thinking like, why are they there to really save you? Because, they're appointed by the court, or I paid this guy $250,000. I've seen guys pay dude $250,000 and get 15, 20 years. I've seen a guy $250,000 cash. The guy took the money. He still got 20 years. He was looking at 30 years. He got 20 or 15, and that was a trade-off. 15, 20 years instead of 30. Man. It was mandatory back in the day for you to know the law. Like, the lords, and you talk about like England and just aristocracy, the aristocrats, they all knew the law. They knew the law, and they knew about banking. They knew about money. And that's what separated them from the serfs, from the paupers, the guys who didn't know nothing. That's why when they went to, court, and they had the people with the wigs on, they'd be getting they dome blown out, because they'd go in there, they didn't know what was going on. They didn't know how to read. They were farmers. They were ignorant. They were indigent, and basically they were getting just, they couldn't understand the charges. They were debtor's prison. They go sit up in there and be in a dungeon, and hopefully their family would bring them some food. You know what I mean? But they were busting your heads, man. The lords. You didn't know the law. All those people knew the law. That was a part of being in that social class. And, it comes to being out here, you guys want to be, guys want to be gangsters, street guys. I'm going to give you game on this. I'm going to coach you. Well, I think it should be mandatory that every man, for the sake of his family, know about the Constitution, know about the Bill of Rights, know about just simple court proceedings and the law and his rights. You don't know that, man. I mean, you walking blindly, and you, like I said, you're putting your life in the hands of someone you're hoping is gonna be able to get you out. And there's lawyers that get people out. They, you see people, oh, he got out, he got this, man, he paid that attorney, he did this and that. Okay, but he was sitting there the whole time like, with no idea what's going on. But if you at least know some knowledge when you're sitting in court, if you have to ever go to court, they can't blow smoke up your ass. They can't tell you something and you be like, oh, wow, no, that ain't right, man. Look, I know about this, and this, I know about that. Because soon you start talking, they're like, well, how'd you know that? They think people, a lot, especially dudes from the hood, they think you're stupid. They think majority of people come in there are stupid because you just go along with it. They don't question anything. You just nod your head. You don't ever ask. They ask you all the questions. You don't ask none. So, hey, man, Tim Patrick. Like I said, if you're interested, shoot me a message. info.bigherc916@gmail.com. I'm not giving you out legal advice, but I'm giving you some game on something that may stimulate your mind, make you more knowledgeable. And like I said, this is from the dungeon. This is from the dark abyss, man. I set on this information. I don't advertise it. I don't put it out there. But if you're interested in getting some game on, just information, somebody said, oh man, do your research, man. You talk this and that and this, and man, shit. I'm not putting it into Google, man. This ain't Google controlled knowledge right here. This is knowledge that, came from other dudes who have done, major dungeon time and us sharing information. So Big Herc 916, like, subscribe, share the channel, leave a comment. Visit bigherc916.com to pick up a limited edition GTA poster signed by me for $10, or with your purchase of a Wig Splitter Porsche t-shirt, I'll throw in a free poster signed. And pick up a sticker for your car, or a patch, or a sticker for your laptop, or maybe a beanie, or read one of the many books that Big Herc 916 has authored. You know how we do it. Oh shit! The popos are coming. I gotta hurry up and wash my ass. Go to bigherc916.com, pick you up a bar of soap, and wash your ass, or else you're gonna be under arrest too. Oh shit!